Welcome back to Ireland AM. It's 18 minutes past 7 now. The Irish Road Hauliers Association, they have threatened protests which would shut down parts of the country in response to the rising oil costs because of the war in the Middle East.
Now, economist and lecturer Dr. Emma Howard and motoring editor of the Sunday Independent, Geraldine Herbert, is here to discuss this. Good morning to both of you. Good morning.
Thanks both for being here.
Emma, I always feel that you are a bit of a voice of reason when you're here with us this morning.
No pressure.
I do. I know I do. I seriously do. And we're saying some reports, cost of living crisis worse than 2022. Are we going to go that way?
Yeah, I mean, there's those kind of headlines always grab your attention, don't they? So there's always a little bit of an overreaction to these things. And we see that in the markets as well. You know, there's an overreaction, then people take in the information and they kind of settle things down a bit. Yeah. I mean, one of the things, again, with Trump, as always, is the uncertainty here. Because, you know, we've seen there is a very real increase in the cost of oil that's immediate, and people are seeing it already at the pumps and if they're getting heating oil. But how long that spike lasts really depends on how long the conflict lasts.
Right.
So, you know, if the conflict is resolved and it seems overnight, the markets have calmed a little bit to his suggestion that it might end soon, then it's just going to be a spike. We should see a return to normal and the inflationary impacts won't be too widespread. However, a prolonged conflict will result in a big increase in the price level overall.
And you've mentioned there, you know, taco Trump always chickens out. And overnight he said, oh, we're done now. We're done, even though no one knows why he went in, what was the reasons that he went in. And, you know, there's 170 school children that died in that bombing. And this is really important. There are people that are dying in this war. But it comes to oil, that's what's important. Overnight, oil prices, they did fall back because of his press conference yesterday in Florida, where he said it's kind of over. Will that help the Irish Road Hauliers Association? Because they have been very vocal since last week, saying we need something to be done with that, excise the carbon tax, otherwise we are going to shut down roads and airports. Yeah,
I hope so. You know, it may appease them a little bit. We still have, like, oil is still elevated, so it was about $60 a barrel at the start of the year. It fell to close to 90 or a bit below 90 overnight, so it is still higher than it was a few months ago.
It was about 110 yesterday, now back down to 90 overnight.
It spiked at nearly 120 yesterday, Now, a couple of things happened yesterday that brought it down a bit. The first thing was the G7 said that they stood ready to release some of the strategic oil reserves, which would have an impact, and that's only happened about 5 times ever. So the first in 1990 for the first Gulf War. The last time they released reserves was when Russia invaded Ukraine. So they do have mechanisms to try and calm the markets and to address the supply issues. So hopefully some of that will appease the Hauliers Association. I think one of the really important things to say is those universal measures, such as cutting carbon taxes, cutting excise or VAT on fuel, those are really bad measures in this type of crisis, because they're not just giving money to industries who might need it, like the hauliers, who I appreciate face really high increase in costs on their businesses, but they're helping everybody, right? They're helping people who don't need the support, and they're helping people to keep using polluting sources of fuel in a time when we should be decarbonising and trying to incentivise people to move away. And I think this crisis really illustrates that dependence we have on imported energy, on fossil fuels, and the need to invest in renewable energy and to help people themselves invest in renewable energy so they can decarbonise their own transport.
But Geraldine, people are calling on the government, and they do feel when they're seeing those prices going up that they will need some help eventually. So what do you think the government will do?
Yeah, I think the real issue is 60% of what you pay if you're buying diesel is in tax and 65% for petrol. So that's a lot of tax we pay. It's a lot of money that is paid to the government for tax. I think the problem is at the moment, what we see with oil prices in the impact and the fuel prices is rockets and feathers. So it goes up like a rocket, but it comes down like a feather. So even if the prices have stabilised overnight, and basically the market is reacting to risk of a shortage of supply. So at the moment, if Donald Trump says the war is nearly over, if the G7 say we're going to have more supply, that brings the prices down. But another crisis could trigger them again. And those prices are still going to stay relatively high if something concrete doesn't happen, and you're not going to see the impact. So I don't think the hauliers are going to be particularly appeased, because we're not going to see those prices reflected in the pump anytime soon. Like, we're not going to see it in the next day or so. The price come down. They will stabilise, because that fear of shortage of supply has been taken out at the moment, but that's only a short term. In terms of what the government will do, I think they'll be very, very slow to do anything to excise. The problem with that is it's a very costly measure. As you say, it's not the best thing they can do.
Can I ask you, I heard yesterday that the government have made an extra 30 million on excise in the last week.
Yeah, it's priced per
30
litre,
million
so they're
they've made
making
extra
more money.
in the last week that
The
they've
cost goes
taken
up.
in.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
can
the
they
problem-
take that 30 million then and go, OK, well, look, we'll try and do something with that?
Yeah, the problem is, though, if they reduce excise, number one, it's very costly for them, but number two, it takes a long time to restore. If you look at what happened with the Ukraine war, they cut excise 20% on petrol and 15 on diesel. It took nearly 3 instalments to get it back to where it was. So it was actually reduced for a very long time, and that's very costly. And as Emma rightly points out, it helps everybody rather than just the targeted. So I think what they're going to look at is a targeted response. They can look at the diesel rebate scheme for commercial drivers and truck drivers, extend that. They can extend the fuel allowance for people. So I think that's what we're going to be looking at.
Yeah, the more fuel allowance
Targeted
for the targeted measures.
Yeah. Targeted, because again, listeners are probably sitting at home thinking like, look, I'm paying loads extra for my
100%.
fuel, why can't we do a universal measure? But the thing to understand is that when we have those universal measures, and we saw it with the cost of living packages that were repeated, the one-off packages for the war in Ukraine that were repeated 3 years in a row, they simply drive up inflation in general. Because when you're giving money to people who don't need it, supports to people who don't need it, it allows them to spend more, it increases demand, it further drives up prices.
So it makes everything more expensive in the long term.
Exactly. So, we see like the salience of these price increases are immediate, right? You go to the pump, you see it's much more to fill your car, and so you're conscious of it. But what you don't notice is if you get those supports further down the line, that creeping increase in cost that's actually going to erode any of those gains you get.
And we're hearing all the time, Geraldine, you must see it then, price gouging. Is it happening? Because some of the suppliers are saying, no, we're relying on what the stuff that we've got in, it's already gone, so we are paying more for it already. But some companies definitely put up those prices way too soon.
Yeah, I think the issue with the fuel retailers is there is no storage capacity. They don't have excess capacity. So they are literally very, very sensitive to price changes. And particularly in a very busy filling station, you'll get 3 and 4 deliveries in a day. The prices will change based on the price. And remember, in Ireland, we import all of our oil. So we're a price taker, not setter. We had to just take whatever price is given. I think at the same time, and I've had loads of texts from people going, the price have gone through the roof. Whether or not, the last time the Consumer Protection actually investigated this, they found no evidence of price gouging as an industry. Whether individual retailers, and I've had texts from people saying, look, this is ridiculous, this
garage here or this part.
And because you're looking at your local garage going, what's going on here? 0896 111 111. We'd love to hear from you this, because yesterday it was quite stark yesterday. In the UK, the AA and the ORS, they were saying, how are you, cycle or walk? Yeah. Conserve this sort of a fuel.
Limit your car use.
And limit your car use and make sure you're not braking or accelerating too quickly. Don't be decelerating too much so that you're not wasting fuel. So it is like they're talking about it being like the 1970s, when we had that large crisis. What do you think is going, it's looking into a crystal ball. Emma, do you have any idea of what's going to happen next? Because as you said, Trump made this statement yesterday. It changes the market overnight. So if the government had done something, they'd be like, OK, well, we're going back to normal. It's hard.
And this is the chaotic world we live in now, where Trump's statements on his social media platform are actually having real impacts on people's lives across the globe. So, who knows? If the conflict does end soon, then, we would hope that we won't have a prolonged spike in inflation and that we will see prices come down again. But, your guess is as good as mine, to be honest, as to what he actually does.
Yeah. Isn't it crazy that one man saying something can just change everything across the world?
It's insane. But what we're seeing again is the power of the markets to change his mind, because this is exactly what happened with the Liberation Day tariffs, where the reaction of the bond markets were what actually got him to think, OK, maybe this isn't a good idea. And so, that's, at least we are seeing that this is a response. And maybe with the midterms coming up in the US, this is, politically for him, he doesn't want that high level of inflation in the US. So maybe we will see that the conflict will be resolved.
And at the heart of all this, people are dying. It's just so bonkers. Dr. Emma Howard, economist and lecturer at TU Dublin, and Geraldine Herbert, motoring editor of the Sunday Independent, who is not going anywhere. We're going to annoy you a little bit later on as well. Thank you both so much for being here. We'll be back with you on Ireland AM in just a minute.